So looking at client 2, we can see they are a 26-year-old male, with a resting heart rate of 60. Their aims are to lose weight and tone. And also to improve on speed and cardio vascular fitness. They have no health problems, and it's also important to mention that they train from 7 till 9 p.m. on a Wednesday, and they play football on a Saturday, so that's most of the day, and they play the odd bit of squash. Also, they work from 7 till 6 in the evening, so the training schedule will have to be based around that. And yeah, looking at week 1, we can look and see that unlike the other client, this client has a considerably higher level of fitness, so their training will be a lot more difficult, or not a lot more difficult, but a lot more higher intensity, longer duration, a lot sooner. So firstly, continuous training, just 30 minutes of this. This is just to ensure that the individual is using their fat stores, and it's really encouraging the body to burn the calories needed. Also, in the PM, they'll be playing a badminton match. This is just to check these little badminton and squash matches. They'll be placed in the training schedule. It just changes it up while still ensuring that the individual is burning calories, as those sorts of sports are high intensity, they're high, also fairly long duration. Their body really has to work hard in order to participate in these. Then obviously Tuesday they got the football training, so they'll be burning calories through doing that. And then Wednesday, a 7-kilometre run. Jogging, as mentioned before, jogging is a great way of burning calories, with 435 calories being burnt per hour. And also they've mentioned that they want to increase their cardiovascular fitness. So the continuous training will incredibly help the body in order to do this. As these sort of activities really help the body go through muscular hypertrophy of the heart, and of course your rest days help to really back up the rebuilding process of the muscle fibres. Moving on to Thursday, and we have in the morning, we have 30 minutes of yoga. Yoga is incredibly good for the intercostal muscles and strengthening that. So this was placed in there partly after as a bit of a relief training, but this won't really be burning calories. It will burn a few calories, but not masses. It's more aimed at the fact that it strengthens the intercostal muscles, which will help improve the individual's cardiovascular fitness in the long run. Moving on to the PM of Thursday, and they'll be doing some circuit training. This will be 35 seconds on each station, 2 sets of 8, with 20 seconds rest between each set. This, of course, will include, as mentioned before, a lot of own body weight stuff, as that's brilliant for weight loss, and it will help to really ensure that the individual's working hard for a long period of time to burn the calories. Next, the rest day. This just allows for the hypertrophy, the muscle fibres, and the lactic acid that would have built up during these sessions, to any aches and pains, just to have that day recovery, and the fibres to grow back bigger and stronger, which of course will be important with the toning aspect of the body. Saturday, as mentioned before, is a game. So obviously this is going to be incredibly high intensity. A lot of calories will be being burnt during this. And obviously on Sunday, the individual is likely to be feeling more, quite worse for wear, due to the fact that they would have been working so hard during that, and there would have been a large build-up of lactic acid. This is why a little bit of light swimming, as mentioned there, 60 to 70% of the heart rate, unlike the other things which would have been up to the 80, 90. This will just be a little bit of recovery, just getting the body moving again after that intense session. Looking at week 2, and we have our first HIIT training of the 6-week training plan. And of course, this will burn large amount of calories. Obviously, it's a longer session as the individual is considerably healthier than the previous individual, so they have the higher fitness base, so they can start with slightly more higher intensity sessions. Then we have another 35 minutes of swimming, and this then moves on to Tuesday and Wednesday, where the football training is once again seen. Thursday is the second load of interval training, or is this the first load of interval training for this individual. And yet again, this will help improve particularly speed and cardiovascular fitness, as the individual is of course jogging and sprinting for long periods of time, 20 minutes as said there. The sprinting towards the end the body will be fatiguing, and the individual will be really starting to tire, and yet he'll still be able to produce the sprints, and that is what the session is aimed at. This will then be followed up in the evening by an hour of cycling. This is going to be low intensity, 60 to 70%, just burning those few extra calories, working out a bit of the lactic acid that would have built up. Friday is then a rest day, so that the body isn't fatigued for the Friday and the football game. And then Sunday will just be, the football game will be followed up on Sunday by a yoga session for 45 minutes, just to work that out. Alternatively, the individual, if he didn't want to do yoga, he could look at doing more aerobic swimming, or if he didn't want to do the yoga session, he could look to do more aerobic, water aerobic, or more swimming or cycling. These are all possible alternatives to the yoga. Moving on to the third week, where we have 45 minutes of continuous training. It's important to mention at this point that there will be a warm-up with all of these, but that was mentioned before, and these will be 5-10 minutes before and after the session. There's then another 45-minute yoga session, just to really ensure that the individual is strengthening those intercostal muscles to allow him to increase his cardiovascular fitness. Tuesdays, obviously, football training, and then Wednesday AM we have another interval training. This time it will be up to 3 sets of 4 for the jogging, 2 sets of 8 for the 3/4 pace, and finishing with 3 sets of 4 for the sprinting. That is really gonna ensure that the body is being put under pressure and really burning the calories and the fat stores to begin to lean and move and lose weight. Football training in the evening, and then on Thursday evening we have circuit training, which is moved up to 40 seconds on each station for 3 sets of 6. And then there will only be a 20-second rest in between each light station. Friday is rest day, again for muscular hypertrophy of both the heart and the actual muscles, which would have been going through that process of toning up and really being put under pressure. The football game on Sunday is then Saturday is then followed up by 40 minutes of light swimming on Sunday. And of course, swimming burns up to 650 calories per hour. So That one's really going to help to burn the calories. Looking at Monday, first of all, a 10k run, just to burn possibly up to 400 calories, if not more, if it takes over an hour. And then this followed up by some continuous training, 50 minutes on this. Moving on to Tuesday, where there's football training, and then an hour of cycling on the Wednesday. You can see that the training sessions the training program's becoming more saturated as the individual has to work to ensure that his calorie count is being kept below that of which he's intaking. So more exercise is needed to ensure that that weight loss and that imbalance in calories is happening. The PM football training session is then followed up on Thursday morning by a HIIT session. Once again, 45 minutes of this, and the exercises will last for 1 minute with a 45-second rest. And then on Thursday, a squash match, just to vary training up, do something a little bit different. And then obviously a rest day on Friday, followed up on Saturday by a game, and then water aerobics on the Sunday for 45 minutes. Monday is circuit. This is week 5, so really coming towards the end now. The toning, the weight loss should begin to become evident. He should see improvements in his cardiovascular fitness and his speed beginning to come into play. And the circuit training, we're now to 3 sets of 8. So that will really force the individual to work through their fat stores and burn those calories. The 13k run, obviously, to witness that improvement in cardiovascular fitness. And then moving on to football training on Tuesday. And then Wednesday will be 60 minutes of swimming, followed by football training. And then interval training, up to 3 sets of 4 on the jogging, 2 sets of 8 and 3 sets of 4 for the running. And this obviously will increase speed and will really burn a lot of calories. 75 minutes of cycling, and then a rest day on the Friday. Football game on the Saturday. And then obviously really trying to increase the strength of those intercostal muscles, and this is where the yoga will come in for the 55-minute. Those sessions are also getting longer. A badminton match and training, or training, either way, just for that variation in training again, and will really burn a load of calories. Week 6, and this is the final week, so this will really be where he's having to work hard. He's probably finding that the higher intensity work is getting slightly more difficult. And the Monday will be a 60-second HIIT training. Obviously, everything now will be longer and considerably harder than it was before. Each exercise will last for a minute, and there'll be 50 seconds rest. This will be followed up by a squash match. Of course, that is a very high intensity sport, little breaks. Calories that will be being lost there will be incredibly high. Tuesday, football training, followed up by water aerobics on the Wednesday for 60 minutes. Football training will then take place. And then really another one to improve the cardiovascular fitness and ensure that that is seeing an improvement in is the continuous training for 60 minutes and 5 minutes for the cool down and warm up, obviously. Then 90 minutes of cycling, a rest day on Friday as normally seen. It's just to ensure he's fully fit for the game on Saturday and to ensure that that body is being allowed that time to hypertrophy, the muscle fibers to repair both the heart and the skeletal muscles. And then Sunday to finish off with 75 minutes, the longest swim. And obviously I've mentioned throughout how good swimming is for burning calories, and then 60 minutes of yoga for the intercostal muscles. It's also important to remember that the idea of this training program is to burn more calories than you're taking in. So diet, ensuring that you're eating low amounts of calories, and taking on loads of fluids were important for both clients.